Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is RAZIN bin RHITAUDDIN, and today my group and I is going to present about our project plan, which is titled Smart Attendance Face Recognition System, ScanScan.
Assalamualaikum. My name is AIDATUL binti AZMI, and I will start the presentation. In general, most Malaysian primary and secondary schools still practice a traditional method of taking students' attendance. As a result, many concerns occur, such as a bunch of discarded documents, wasting paper resources, and notebooks scattered over the workplace. Missing attendance reports, as well as other issues that may eventually create more concerns in the future. As a result, ScanScan was created as a way to take students' attendance more effectively. This innovative invention will automatically recognize students' faces and gather their information for attendance purposes. In addition, all of the information has been saved in the school database with tight security. As a result, this approach will eventually be able to assist the school in reducing the risk of missing attendance records and improving the attendance reporting process.
Thank you, Adam. My name is KHAIRUNNISA binti ABDUL AZIZ, and I will start with the introduction. Attendance play a very important role in most academic institutions. Many institutions, including school, use papers to record student attendance. This may result in several problems such as missing attendance record, students cheating on their attendance, misplaced or ripped when being manually input a database system. So, we propose a smart attendance face recognition system that can detect the face and mark attendance. This system will recognize the number of faces in the class and identify them using the school database.
We move on to the company background. So ScanScan is a company, a technology company that was established in 2022. It provides software products and also software services in order to enhance business activities and also business process. With the trademark of We Go Beyond, ScanScan provide digital-based solutions to their client and organizations. The startup venture are based at Shah, Selangor. Moving on to the organizational chart. So we start with the project manager, which is SYAFI'E bin RHITAUDDIN, and other 4 team members, which we start with the system designer, KHAIRUNNISA binti Abdul Aziz, lead developer, MOHAMMAD bin PATRIOT, documentation manager, AIDATUL binti AZMI, and lastly, our system tester, which is AQILAH binti AMINUDDIN.
Thank you. My name is AQILAH binti AMINUDDIN, and I'll continue with the description of problem and opportunities. The problem for SMK Shah Alam is that they take the attendance manually, which is they record the attendance by using a logbook that consists of the list of students' name. So the flow is the teacher will call the student's name one by one to see whether the student is attending the class or not. If they attended the class, the teacher will write the name of the student at the logbook. If the student did not come to class, the teacher will put a circle mark at the name of the student. In other case where the teacher could not attend the class monitor will take over the teacher's task of getting the students' attendance. So moreover, this usage of manually taken students' attendance will bring upon a lot of problems, like the teacher may forget to bring the logbook or misplace the logbook, which even worse, they might lose the logbook, which can cause a data loss. And it is also time consuming since they need to check one by one of the students. Therefore, we decided to develop an attendance system which uses a face scanner, where it is a system that detects and recognizes the face of the student who attends the class. And the system will detect the respective faces and mark the attendance accordingly. Other than that, the system will be able to recognize the number of faces in the class and identify them using the database provided by the school. So if the match is found, the system will update the attendance of the students which correspond to their name, class, year, date, and time captured. So the teacher does not have to worry about this change, as there will be a proper and well-managed explained user guide given to them to assist both the teachers and the students on how to use the system. Hence, by implementing this system, it will be easy to determine whether the student is physically present in the class or not. And this system will prove more efficient than the previous one since it is not time-consuming and able to safely store the students' record in a database.
So next, moving on to the MOV of the project, which is the measurable organizational value. So we have the first one is area of impact. So the area of impact is customer and operational. For the customer area of impact, the customer for the system is SMK Shah Alam, and the smart attendance face recognition will offer a new service that will be used for the students to taking their attendance. As for the operational, the system will improve the current process of taking attendance, will become more efficient and effective. As for the value of the project, the value is better, and it is to make a better process of taking the attendance. So as for the appropriate metrics, the implementation of the smart attendance face recognition was predicted to affect the school's KPI for the student attendance, which is 60%. And as for the time frame for achieving the MOV is within 1 year. So overall, to summarize the MOV, this project will be successful if the student attendance affect the school's KPI achieve at least 60% within 1 year.
Moving on to the preliminary project requirements. Project scope non-functional. The system is designed for SMK Shah. The teachers have access to the students' attendance records, and the system has been authorized for teachers and school clerks. For the functional scope, they can enter staff ID and password for teachers and school clerks, and add students' information, add class information, edit students' information, view class attendance, generate attendance report, alter students' attendance, market. The target market for the system is SMK Shah. Smart attendance face recognition, or ScanScan, offers a new service that will be used by students for taking their attendance before entering their classes. This approach will make it easier and faster for teachers to take attendance and generate reports. There are 3 competitors identified. The first one is Anak to You. Anak to You is a solution created for instructors and parents to manage the day-to-day activities of children in the daycare facility. This program also allows the students and teachers to take attendance. The benefits of this application include return reporting and low cost, and the attendance will be automatically recorded in the digital logbook. However, this program does have certain limitations. One drawback is that there are too many interfaces and procedures necessary before taking attendance, which increases the time required. In addition to tracking attendance, teachers need to add the responsibility of recording and monitoring each student's actions under their work scope before and after office hours. Next, the second competitor is UFuture. As we all know, UFuture is a Universiti Teknologi or UITM platform for offering learning content online. UFuture has an attendance tool that both instructors and students may use to track their attendance from classes. In addition, teachers may easily produce reports from the attendance list for future reference. However, UFuture's website performance is one of its shortcomings. It may not be capable of handling many transactions if it occurs at the same time, as UITM has many students who can use the website. Aside from that, it does not enable clock in and clock out time data. Without this functionality, lecturers would be unable to keep track of students who did not attend the online class despite the attendance being marked off. Lastly, Microsoft Teams. Teams is able to build up virtual classes, share class materials, and manage assignments. However, instructors profit the most from it since they use the features to manage class materials such as sharing notes, assigning projects, quizzes, and tracking students' attendance activities. Meeting organizer can access and download meeting attendance report, and these features allow the teachers to track student attendance in online classes. The report includes the name of everyone who attended the meeting as well as the time they attended. However, the system is unable to determine which group or class the students belong to. As a result, lecturers will spend a lot of time and effort validating and verifying students' attendance based on the report acquired. These are the competitors in the phase for Anak to You, UFuture, and also Microsoft Teams. You can pause this video to take a look at a better understanding of their interfaces.
Next, we will discuss about the budget estimate and financial analysis. For the first one is management. Under management, we have labor cost and outside training. So for the labor cost for the 6 months consists of project manager, system designer, lead developer, system tester, and documentation manager. The overall labor cost for the year 0 is RM41,480. And next is outside training for the 15 teachers. And for the outside training, this consists of 2 trainer, productivity and material. And the overall cost for the outside training for the each of the year is RM4,200. Next is software. The first one is our database. We pay yearly around RM2,500. And the second one is hosting, the web hosting. We pay yearly around RM1,500. And the last one is database user license. We pay RM3,000 yearly. And next is hardware. For the hardware, we have face scanner. Each scanner costs around RM1,600. And we have 6 units of face scanner costly around RM16,000. And the last one is wall amount. Each wall amount costly around RM40. And we have 10 units of wall amount costly around RM500. Next is maintenance. The first one is utility cost. So the utility cost for the year 0 is 3,000. And then for the software maintenance, yearly cost around 14,000 yearly. And the third one, hardware maintenance, closely around 10,000 yearly. And the last one is network maintenance, cost around 9,000 yearly. For the last one is for marketing. For marketing, we have advertising on Instagram, Facebook and Google Ads. And for the year 0, the cost advertising is 3,000 ringgit. And the next 3 years, the cost of advertising is 1,500 ringgit. And the total cost of the project is 212,680 ringgit. Next is we will discuss about the cash flow and NPV. So net present value is a formula used to determine the present value of an investment by discounted sum of all cash flow received from the project. So the organisation estimate the cash flow will be 75,280 for the initial investment and will be 45,800 for the following 3 years. So the amount of present value we get by divide each year cash flow with 1 plus discount rate power of time. And the net present value that we get is 38,670 ringgit 82 cents. So based on that, our company may decide to pursue the project. Next is revenue of organisation. For the first one is operation cost saving, refer to the cost required for the maintenance fee and marketing fee. So cost saving will increase 20% each year, starting for year 0, which is 25,000, year 1, 27,500,000, year 2, 30,250, and year 3, 33,275. Next is production cost. Production cost refer to the cost required to develop our system. This cost include labor cost, software and hardware. So starting for year 0, the production cost is 60,000 and the next 3 years is 37,000 and the last one is training program. The cost for training program starting for year 0 until year 3 is 5,000 and the total revenue for the implementation of the system is 307,025 ringgit. Next, I will explain about the payback period and return on investment. So, the organisation is able to make the payback within the 1.64 years based on the following calculation. So, for this project, the consultant has sufficient resources to make the payback period in a short period of time. And the last one is return on investment based on the calculation. Our ScanScan project get 44.36% amount of return on investment.
So these are the deliverables and milestones. There are 8 phases. The first one is phase 1, which is planning. So the tasks consist in this phase are identify problems, objective and scope, which we estimate to be done in 5 days, starting 15th of October until 20th of October. And the second task is the project plan report, which is also the first deliverable of our project, which also estimated to be done in 5 days, starting 20th October until 25th October. The second phase is analysis, which consists of 6 tasks, which are identify desired area of impact, identify desired value of the project, develop appropriate metrics, set a time frame for achieving the MOV, verify the MOV, and also develop the business case, which is also the second deliverable. First and the fourth task, including the last task, is estimated to be done in 5 days, while the fifth task is estimated to be done in 8 days. The third phase in this project is the design phase, which consists of the design system layout and also design the system interface, which also took 5 days to complete it. The fourth phase is the implementation phase, which is develop the system, and we estimate it to be done in 10 days, starting 25th of November until 5th of December. And the fifth phase in this project is system testing, which consists of the tasks such as test planning and also the test analysis report, which is our third deliverable in this project. And the first task will be done in 10 days, while the second task is estimated to be done in 5 days. Next, we have the marketing phase, which is the sixth phase. We prepare the marketing content in about 6 days. Moving on to the seventh phase, which is the installation, which will be execute the direct system implementation and also set up the training program. And then we have the maintenance phase, which we did the system maintenance, which will be done in 7 days. And the last phase in this project is the close project, where we make the management report and all of the report, which will be done in about 10 days. So this will be our Gantt chart, which we estimate it will be start on 15th of October and end in the 25th of January. And that's all from me.
For the quality issues, the first is assumptions. Lack of training and also cost limitation is due to our face recognition smart attendance system are new for the teachers and also the students. So the lack of training for the teachers to use the system are become a main problem. Plus, in order to implement this system, they are really cost consuming. The second is potential risk, which is privacy and also security. So in this project, the data such as biometric data of students, which is face image, and also its information are being stored in the system, which can lead to the problem of privacy and also its information leak problems. For the constraints, first is limited accuracy in a certain lighting conditions. So as we know that our face recognition smart attendance system are using camera to detect student face to capture attendance, but there is a situation where certain situation that will cause a problem to detect a face, to detect a student's face, for example in the low light conditions. And the second question is the technical limitations, where in order to maintain the system, the expertise are needed in order to encounter some type of problem and also to troubleshoot it. And for the resources required, there are 4 resources that have been stated here, which is human resource, financial resource, material resource, and also time resource. For the human resource, there is all of the human that are involved in this project development, which is there are 5 team members. And also for the financial resource, where we do the estimation of the budget, including costing and also the revenue. For the material resource, we list out all of the things that we need to buy or we need to have in order to develop this project properly. For example, in terms of the software products and also the hardware product. And lastly is time resource, is where proper time planning are being done to make sure that our project are successfully developed in the period given of time. For the communication plans, so communication plan is a planning that have been made in order to perform communications between the team members or the project team and also the stakeholders before, current, and also after the project development is done. So there is 5 communication purpose or plan that have been stated in our project, which is start with the start of meeting, which start of meeting is an activity to collect system requirement from the stakeholders. The second is a project kickoff, where we assign roles to each team members before the project is being started. Next is a team meeting. This is where all the team members review their detailed plan in order to understand and also to solve the problem that have been issued. Next is the status report. Status report is an activity in order to update their project progress by doing a face-to-face meeting. And lastly is a post-project review, where this is an activity in order to review project and also gain feedback from the stakeholder, where we show the system to the stakeholder and gain feedback from them. And also this type of communication are being done face-to-face meeting. For the scope management plan, there are 5 steps, which starting with the collect of requirement, define scope, work breakdown structure, validate scope, and lastly control scope. Moving on to the collect requirement. Collect requirement is a process where we gain the informations and also the requirement that the stakeholder needed. For example here, there are 3 stakeholders in our project or in our system development, which is firstly is teachers. So their requirement are firstly, they want to manage student informations, they want to view class attendance, they want to alter students' attendance and also generate attendance report. For the students, the requirement is they just need to scan their face for capturing attendance. And for the school clerks, they want to manage and update students' informations and manage and update class informations. They have done the collect requirement, then the scope defining are started, where the first users, which is teachers, we have defined their scope based on their requirement, which are teachers can log into the system. They can view teaching class or the class they are teaching. They can edit students' information detail. They can view attendance list. They can edit attendance list, and lastly, they can create attendance report. For the students, the scope are scan face as a proof of attendance, and for the school club, they can log into the system, view all the classes. They can add class information detail, and also they can edit students' informations. We're moving on to the work breakdown structure. So work breakdown structure is a tool that is used in order to break down the possible tasks or activities that need to be done in the project development. So as we can see here, there is 5 main activities that will be done in this project, starting with the project management, analysis, design, development, and also testing and implementations. So for the project management, firstly is a define project goals, followed by identify roles and responsibilities to each team members, and then identify the resources. Move on to the analysis phase, where we interview the stakeholders, and then we gather requirement, and then we create Gantt chart, following with the define the communication plan, define scope management plan, define quality management plan, define change management plan, and also develop project plan. And then we move on to the design phase, where we start with the storyboard design, and then we do the database design, system interface design, back-end design, and lastly a system prototype. And then for the development, we start to do the database implementations from the based on the process in the design, and then we start the system interface implementation, back-end implementation, and documentation. And the last phase is testing and implementations, where we develop test plan in order to do a testing, and then we do specifically functional testing and also non-functional testing, and also we prepare test result. And after the test phase, then we deliver the smart attendance first recognition system. Next, we move on to the validate scope, where validate scope is where we evaluate and also we review the project deliverables. So validate scope are important in order to prevent stakeholders from stating differently after the project has finished, which we didn't want the project or the system that have been created are not as the same as what the stakeholders want. For the control scope are important in order to manage proposed scope changes once the project scope has been established. So the requests from the stakeholder to make changes are always possible. So in order to control this changing request, we done these 2 steps in order to perform it. The first step is we analyze the change request before we perform it, and then after it's been approved, we do the change request implementations based on what stakeholders want. Now I pass to the next presenter.
Next, we continue with the quality management. First, let's take a look at the quality philosophies and principles. This project quality is mainly focused on fulfilling the demands of the clients. The deliverable must meet the specified criteria that stakeholders request. Otherwise, the project may fail due to unmet stakeholder needs. As a result, in order to ensure the success of this project, everyone in the team is responsible for ensuring the project's quality. Second, quality standards, processes, and metrics. Project standards have been identified as our management method to ensure the project success. For the first standard is reliability, which is ability to perform well by following the stated conditions without failure. And second, maintainability, which is carrying out scheduled inspections and restoring the operational service after a failure. Third, performance, ability to support a large number of requests over time as the system will capture every record of the students, and minimal response time. The last one is usability, which offers user-friendly interfaces to ease the teachers and school board to use the system and obtain customer satisfaction. The quality assurance, before the system can serve the stakeholders, it is crucial to ensure its quality as the customer are more aware about what the system should be. Therefore, the project's quality must be meticulously checked to ensure its success and accomplishment. It is a critical step since quality assurance is about quality and customer pleasure. There are 3 actions that must be taken to guarantee the system can functioning well. The first stage is verification. In this project, verification focuses on procedures associated to project activities that have been completed, whether they satisfy the criteria or not. And after receiving verification from stakeholders, team members can validate the system by assessing the fitness and compatibility of project deliverables and client needs. Thus, the system must be tested to confirm that it performs as intended and meets all of the capabilities required and features stated in the project scope document. The person involved is SYAFI'E as a project manager. He needs to keep in touch with the stakeholders and setting up meetings with them, as well as conducting a technical review with the stakeholders to verify the system operational and updating the team members the outcome of the technical reviews assessments. For KHAIRUNNISA, she needs to making sure the interface is simple to use and meets the demands of the clients, and MOHAMMAD needs to make adjustments or improvements as the client requests. And for AQILAH, she needs to test the flow of the system according to the project use cases prior to proceeding with the client's testing, and also testing the system flow after the changes made. And for AIDATUL, she needs to attend the technical reviews meeting with the project manager to keep track of the adjustments or improvements that need to be made in response to client requests. Lastly, quality control. Quality control is a set of methods used to determine whether a product quality needs to be maintained or enhanced before it is served to the customer. As a result, establishing quality control within this project helps to ensure product quality and overall project success. To ensure that the system is delivered to its maximum potential, all team members participate in the quality control process. Next, moving on to the change management plan. There are many things that can go beyond this project control. Thus, it is important to overcome it with the help of a change management plan document. The stakeholders for the change agents involve the project manager, the developer, system tester, and also documentation manager. For the project manager, which is SYAFI'E, he needs to ensure all the tasks for the completion of the project went well, while making sure the project are on time, on budget, and within scope. He also responsible for approving any changes, developing the project change management plan, identifying changes and their impacts, and lastly, monitoring the effectiveness of a change management plan. The communications for this is he needs to communicate and discuss with the project team member. For MOHAMMAD as the developer, he needs to implementing changes that need to be done, analyzing the impacts and outcomes of the changes made, and reporting the outcome of the modification. And for the system tester, AQILAH, she needs to ensure all the tasks are running smoothly according to the customer's requirements. And documentation manager, AIDATUL, she needs to document the proposed changes, including their impacts and resolution. The communication for this group, they need to communicate with team members regarding progress of the project, discuss and document the result of the change management plan. The target are teachers and school clerks. They need to identify the requirements needed for the system, verify the proposed system, and they also need to give feedback and comments about the requirements.
Moving on to the human resources plan. In the human resources plan, we have in total of 5 individuals that are responsible for this project development, which is the project manager, system designer, lead developer, system tester, and document manager. And each one of them has their own responsibilities, skills, and authority. So next is the project implementation. When it comes to implementing the attendance face recognition system, several technical tasks need to be done, and one of it is the installation of the hardware and software, such as the hardware. As for the hardware, we have the camera, server, and other devices that need to be installed around the school area. As for the software, face recognition algorithm and the user interface need to be implemented in the system so that it can be used by the user. So the next step is to configuring the system. We need to configure the system settings, creating any users, or setting up any necessary security protocols. So the last is the project closure. So in order to ensure that the project is closed properly, we need to verify that all project deliverables have been completed. So with that, we also need to obtain final acceptance of the project deliverables from the project sponsor, stakeholders, and other relevant parties. Document all of the lessons learned during the project is also need to be done. And lastly, any project resources including personnel, equipment, facilities should be returned back to their original departments of the organization. As for the conclusion, we can conclude that to implement a smart attendance face recognition system, a well-designed project plan is necessary to ensure it stays on track and meets objectives. The plan should include a detailed timeline, resource allocation, risk management, stakeholder communication, data protection, and compliance with laws and regulations. The implementation should be done in phases with testing at each stage. The system should be continuously evaluated and improved, and properly training and should support be provided for end users. The project should also be closed efficiently, documenting lessons learned and achieving project documentation.
Okay, so next, I will show the user interface for our smart attendance face recognition system, which is our system name is ScanScan Smart Attendance System. So we have three interface, which is for the teacher, for the staff, and for the student. So the first one is for the teacher. So this is the interface for the teacher, and the login phase will prompt the teacher to enter their ID and password for the login. And this is the homepage of the system for the teacher, and they can view the classes that they are assigned, and the student information in the classes, and the attendance list. So this is the class that the teacher is assigned. They can view it, the class and the subject that they will be teaching, as well as the date and the time. So this is the student information page. The teacher can enter the form and the class. So the information about the student in the classes will appear, as well as the attendance and their picture. So this is the attendance list. So if the teacher can insert the form and the class, so they can view the student attendance at the attendance list for the class that they are teaching, and they can make actions such as edit, view, and print. So if the teacher click the view, they can view the class that they are teaching at a certain time, and the information about the student that attend the class. So this is if the teacher click the edit button, she can edit the attendance about the student, such as if the student is MC or they are absent. And this is the the print function that the teacher can use to print out the report of the attendance for the class. So next we will move to the staff interface. Then the staff need to enter their ID and password to log in, and this is the home page. Then they can access for the view classes function, that they can view all of the classes in the school, as well as the student information in the class. So as for the class, they can insert the form and the class, and the class for every subject and teacher assigned will appear, and as well as the number of students taking the subject and the attendance percentage. So next, moving on to the student information. The staff can access the student information for the form by entering the form and the class that they want, and the student information will appear, and they can take actions such as remove the information of the student in the class or edit the information, as well as view the picture. And they can also add the new information in the class for the new student. So if the staff want to edit the information about the student, they just simply click the edit icon, and this page will appear, and they can edit the information about the student, which is entered by entering their name, IC, or import a new image for the student. And if they want to add the new information, they can simply click add new information, and this form will appear, and they just need to fill in the form by filling in the required information, as well as the picture of the new student. So this is the next is the interface for the student. This is the interface for the student that they need to scan their face at the device provided at the school, and the device will show the information about the student, as well as the to confirm their attendance, and as well as the time captured and date.
I think that's all for our presentation. Thank you very much.